Welcome to Tech Talk Live. It is Tuesday, February 25th. It's 6 p.m. here in Los Angeles. I'm Jack Armstrong.
And 9 p.m. in the DMV, I'm Sam Giacomo, and welcome to Tech Talk Live. A lot to talk about. As always, never a boring week.
We've
and
got
I have to rep
3.7 California. Well, in that California spirit, Anthropic has a new reasoning model, 3.7 Sonnet, or 3.7 reasoning. It's a little, I think there's two. We should clarify. We should get to the bottom of this.
So 3.7 Sonnet is, quote, the first hybrid reasoning model on the market. So what does that mean? It's sort of, you can kind of choose how hard it thinks. More or less, I don't, they say it's fine grained. I don't know if that means, there's a slider that you can move back and forth. But essentially you can choose, more or less how hard it thinks for a problem. So they claim strong improvements in coding and front-end web development. But they're also releasing, quite maybe interestingly, a command line tool as well. So you can use AI straight from your terminal.
That's good.
And it's available everywhere. All cloud plans, Anthropic API, Amazon Bedrock, and even on Google Cloud, if anyone's using that.
So Sonnet was already a leader in coding and code generation. It was also an excellent AI writer. It seemed to be one of the better models that could generate very high quality blog posts and written content for essays and articles. So it's going to be interesting, to see. The benchmarks seem to show higher levels of graduate level reasoning, and then the agenic coding skills are significantly enhanced. It looks like before 3.5 only had a 49%. Are you looking at the table, Sam?
Yeah, so I got I pulled up the press release. It seems like is what you're talking about. So the new, I guess so. Yeah, Claude 3.5 Sonnet versus 3.7 Sonnet. I'm quite interested in. So we're gonna have to see the appendix here, but are you seeing? So there's a distinct difference between 3.7 Sonnet and 3.7 Sonnet with custom scaffold. So we're talking about an 8% increase in the software engineering bench from 62 to 70%. And to kind of put it in perspective, it seems like, at least according to Anthropic, everybody else is kind of hovering around 49, 48%. So, put in more relative terms, I mean, this is around a 1/6 improvement, or like a 16%. Relatively, not absolutely. So it's a 10% improvement, but it's a sixth better, it seems like. And that's being a little conservative. But it's seems impressive. I don't know.
Oh, for sure. Well, yeah, it's interesting. It is interesting how they're comparing O1, of course, O3 Mini, R1, and Grok 3's beta. So Grok also does perform impressively. I think it's worth talking about.
And it's honestly why we kind of included it here 2 weeks in a row. Say what you think about, obviously, whoever it's attached to, but Grok as a model is quite impressive. And honestly, it's really at least from, and it's a little bit funny because Anthropic kind of highlights their own models in the comparison. But more or less, Grok beats it out in all but one of the two where they go head to head. In terms of, so what are they comparing, right? We're talking graduate level reasoning. So GPQA Diamond, which is a set of really kind of intensely difficult mathematical problems, I believe. We have visual reasoning from MMMU. I have to brush up on, honestly, MMMU. And then the high school math competition. So AIME 2024. Essentially, Grok, again, not to make this all about Grok, but it's funny how it's a little surreal to see something on Anthropic's website that is sort of placing Grok in more or less the same. I mean, it's better in the metrics they've tested it with. I'm trying to figure out, and there's also two values for Grok as well. It's a percentage value / another, and there's no footnote describing why. So I don't really know for sure.
So it's worth noting Grok 3's beta, right, is included now if you have X Premium, but it's at a higher price point. I think it's worth noting that change.
Included is a little rich, right? So it's $40 a month now for X Premium Plus. And then I think for Premium, I think it's like $24 or something, if you even were to give them any money. So,
but you can also access it. It is a little confusing, in my opinion, because you can also access Grok at grok.com. And then if you go to X.ai, you can also try Grok there. So it's a little confusing because X is the platform name, but also the name of an AI company. So it's kind of, am I the only one who thinks that's a little funny? Have you noticed this?
What, like the
so like X is the social media platform that used to be Twitter. But X is also X.ai, which is an AI company, but how can we think it's related to Twitter or the social media platform? No, I don't think so, because it's really the AI company that's behind Grok. I think
we really do have to talk about this, though. It's a branding problem.
It's confusing.
No, it is. Like,
it's confusing.
Even Claude 3.7 Sonnet. It's like, what? What is
3.7? Where'd 3.6 go?
It's like, where'd 3.6 better than 3.5? I mean, it's like, so it's Claude, so you have to know what Claude is. So maybe you can figure that out. 3.7, okay, it's bigger than 3.6. And then Sonnet, nice poem. I mean, it's like, so something I don't know, random number poem, like that tells. I mean, and to be fair, Grok and X.ai and all this other, those are kind of machinations of, some guy who's hitting the crystal a little bit. So it's just sort of like, I mean, the naming of AI is really just a mess. I mean, because it's like, I hate to say it, but it's like, like if Grok were called like Supernova or something, or just like, I mean, come on, like at least call it something cool. I mean, just like, I think they're afraid of if they call it something very cool, it's hard to like keep topping it.
Yeah,
you kind of have Apple with like the Pro Max, Ultra Pro Max.
Yep. No, 100%.
I don't know.
It's the naming conventions. Also, it's just a little confusing. Yeah, like we skipped over 3.6. Okay, 3.7 is a little better than 3.5. Where'd 3.6 go? Okay, with X.ai. Okay, well, we're talking about X.ai. We're talking about the AI company, not the social media platform. And then one thing that's just a random thought that I do think is worth pointing out. I don't know, obviously, anyone who signs up. We were grandfathered in at the pricing. Well, actually, no, we're not grandfathered in, but we were not alerted. I realize we still have our premium access until later in the year, but we were never notified that the cost is going up. And if you log in, actually is higher.
You get notifications in like the little bell icon, but as soon as you tap it, it dismisses them. So if one of us looked at it, it's not very clear. And in full disclosure, this was before all the sorts of insanity kind of went down in terms of we bought it maybe June of 2024, and since then, so that was $168. It's now $324, I think.
$395 a year.
Oh, really?
It's $395. Yeah.
Holy crap! What the heck?
Yeah, it's like
doubles.
$33.
Holy crap!
Yep.
All right,
it's crazy.
See, and honestly, for that reason alone, that's and not to be a pro Grok channel or anything, but I'm trying to use Grok as much as I can because I feel like at this point, we're kind of grandfathered in until this June.
Anyone who has an account, is grandfathered in until their next renewal, which is it. But is it really worth paying for? I mean, like that's the thing. Like it doesn't.
Well, I mean, right now it's more or less, as good as what Anthropic's offering, right? I mean, so it's kind of one of those things where it's like, hey, we got suckered into it, I guess, and now.
Yeah. Well, I think one thing that it's interesting to note. I was talking to somebody recently about this, but I think that one of the interesting things is if you use something like Cogsy or any tool that aggregates the model's API access, we don't really talk about how the outputs are different and if they are different. Does that make sense?
I mean, I would assume they'd be relatively similar.
This was something that I was asked recently, and I didn't really know how to respond to it.
I mean, I think it would be the same, right? Because when you purchase an API or access an API, I mean, it more or less is running. Now could companies gatekeep a certain model or response? Only the best is on ChatGPT. Sure, but I don't think I think from a transparency standpoint, and also, they have a lot to lose right now. I mean, AI is a rapidly evolving, like even OpenAI, like they have a first mover advantage, but they don't really need a scandal like that to really. And also, 3.7 Sonnet is available on Cogsy as well. So that's
3.7 is available, but I've noticed 0.1 from OpenAI is not. They have 0.3 mini, which is interesting because 0.1 still has benefits over 0.3 mini. I do think from a cost perspective, I wonder if that is something that doesn't affect.
Well, I mean, it's
affecting.
It's similar performance, right, for less costs.
It's similar performance for less cost, but it's interesting that since Cogsy is known for being, a search engine and, having all the AI features, included, it's interesting that they don't just to kind of include everything. Why are they saying, oh, no, 0.3 mini's out, it's a lot cheaper, we're not going to allow people to basically pay more, or it would cost them more, right? I mean, you as the end user.
I guess, but 0.1 isn't that. I mean, here we can go from even Claude's marketing.
Yeah.
I mean, 0.3 mini, is more or less. I mean, I guess at multilingual maybe at multilingual stuff, O1 is like substantially better. But that's really the only, like software engineering, O3 Mini slightly better. Graduate level reasoning, O3 Mini, tiny bit better. So I think it's just a matter of like, it's just and think like from a model standpoint, like maybe it's it's certainly cheaper. I think you're right. I mean, Cogsy has to survive. They have to pay their team just like anybody else. And like I think O3 Mini is kind of like it's the same as O1 normal. For the most part. Maybe it's a little different. You're right. I mean, it's not the same model.
But they're not allowing you to access it, which is just, again, I mean, it's a limitation of these aggregation tools. It's worth noting there's tools like chat playground .ai. There's also another tool I saw recently called T3, I believe, .chat, something like that. Is that what it's called? Yeah, T3.chat. They have 3.7 SONNET.
Let's check it out.
Yeah. Again, it's another one of these things where you pay like, I don't have this one, but yeah, you pay a small fee and you get access to all the models. They limit some of them per day, but if you max them out per day, you're still going to cost, it's $8 to unlock all models.
That's kind of crazy. Like there's all these different resellers out, and I'm honestly curious, like, is it a data play? Like why?
I don't think so.
It's $8 a month, right? So it's like, okay, so it's cheaper, to sign up that way.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, like, so do they siphon your data? Is it like a man in the middle type thing? Because we talk about this in cybersecurity, right? If somebody sits between you and your destination and can listen to your conversation, it's a man in the middle. So I'm wondering if it's just sort of like, we're going to sell, the API at a loss, maybe, because I don't know, data. I don't know how valuable it is.
Yeah.
But I think it really is kind of one of those things where it's like, because they make you sign in with Google. So I'm just curious, like, okay, they sign in with your Google account.
Yeah.
So like, what do they want?
That's easy.
I don't know.
That's easy.
I don't know.
I think
sign up for it.
I think the developers, it seems to me like people want a good experience. They want an interface that is well designed, that they can access all of the models for a reasonable price. And I think again, I like Chat Playground personally, but yeah, T3.chat. T3.chat also has the same thing. Yeah.
I mean, we do have to talk about Chat Playground you mentioned.
Yeah.
So
we can show what it is.
AI. Do you want to share your account? And
I can share my screen. So
you have a Chat Playground. So Chat Playground. Jack's getting it pulled up, is kind of another one of these aggregator. Kind of an aggregator of different models. So you sort of pay once and use everything.
You pay one fee and use everything instead of subscribing to Anthropic, Claude, instead of subscribing to Grok, instead of subscribing to them individually. So I'm just clearing the interface so that people can see this.
Well, yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, yep. I mean, just like the terminal, right? You got to clear your.
Let's see. Share screen. All right, so we're gonna share this window. This is Chat Playground. We're gonna put it up here on the screen. All right. So this is Chat Playground. Let me go into settings really quick, so you can see all the models. So again, you pay. You can turn them on and off depending on what you want, and so yeah, you can pick. O3 Mini, right? You can see O1. You can turn on V3, Opus, Sonnet 3.5, Reasoning 3.7, Grok. I don't see. Let me refresh really quick. I don't see what we were just talking about. They don't have Grok 3
Oh,
yet.
we need Grok 3, dude.
I
Grok 3.
know. But
It
again,
is substantially better, and not to keep. I mean, the last thing I would want to do is keep glazing Elon, but the engineers that work for him did a great job. I mean, it really is quite like, you know, the deep search and think are something where it's quite impressive, I will have to say.
Do you see all these secondary models? So you've got all these
Yeah,
secondary models.
I see these. I don't know. I guess I don't know the usefulness of them, or kind of, because these seem a little bit more specialized.
So then you've got others,
more
and
or
then
less
you've got here. So anyway, you've got quite a lot, right? You've got quite a lot. So yeah, instead of paying for Perplexity, you can query that through here as well. Again, here, different parameter models from Llama. Anyway, so this is cool, right? But then the real thing is when you go to the playground, you can select them all in here. So you can kind of see side by side again, you can set this up however you'd like. If you want to see O3 mini, great. Let's do 3.7. Let's see 3.7 Sonnet. This is the reasoning. So let's think of a query. Let's think of a question to ask it. I know we don't have Grok 3. Should we pick something else here? Should we do Llama? Should we do Perplexity?
Let's put Gemini 2.0 Flash in there.
All right,
because that's Google's low cost model.
We've got, Command R, Cohere,
I say
whatever.
Mistral large. Let's keep the let's put the Europeans in the game.
Cool. And this little icon will search the internet as well. So, but anyway, it's worth noting. Yeah. So anyway, this is all the models. And again, you just have one account. All right. So what should we? What's a good test here, just to see kind of how this works? Again, this is how you can kind of compare all AI in one interface. You can compare all models. Do we have? What's a good test? What do we think would be a good test to see?
Honestly, let's just say, tell me a short and funny story. Let's try something a little bit open-ended, kind of creative.
So this is exactly how it works. Now all the models are thinking in one
interface. The
races.
Okay.
And that's how it works. And then you can kind of scroll up. Obviously, they're all...
Oh, okay, so immediately, check out Claude 3.7 Reasoning and Sonnet. They both use a Jenkins. So Mr. and Mrs. Jenkins. I just thought that was kind of funny. I think they were trained on a lot of Jenkins related.
But I mean, it's a lot of this is subjective depending on what you're looking for. But it's, again, it's cool to compare them all into one, which I think is pretty cool. You can also kind of combine all the models, by the way. You can kind of combine all of them if you'd like to do so. But
so I guess I read, there's a way to. Is there a way to combine their answers, or I guess do you read? I mean, I guess do you read each one and like?
So where are we here?
There's a way of like distilling like the best answer out of it.
Well, yes, it's.
I don't know how that works. I've only used one model at a time.
I don't know if.
So this is like this is new for me too.
You can sort of combine them. You know what? I don't know where that feature went. Actually, I really don't.
I saw that on the marketing of it, I guess, but
I think they took. You know what? I think they might have taken that out. Oh, here, mixture, magic actions. Yeah, compare, summarize, or mixture. So this was sort of the magic feature that combined them all. So this is a blended narrative compilation. So this is taking all the responses and combining them. I mean, this isn't summarizing it. This might not be the best example of it because this is just putting them all.
Yeah, it's hard to combine distinct creative stories like that.
But
I kind of get what you're saying. Yeah, it's a little like it's synthesizing the information, and like for something where it was more, we can try something a bit more standard.
Like if
let's say what we can do is let's write a program to remove the first kilobyte from a file. So it should be a pretty standard,
kilobyte of a file.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Is that all right? So it is a little interesting.
It should be relatively.
This is tricky.
Should be relatively straightforward for these guys.
So this one finished
a lot
first.
Of reasoning, interesting.
So this one finished first right here. Well, reasoning models do take longer. That is common. I mean, it's
well, no, even O3 Mini and DeepSeek were done way before Claude 3.7. Reasoning. I imagine their API load is pretty high right now. So now, what happens when you go ahead and hit mixture?
So let's create mixture. So what? Theoretically, this should be all you need. Is this all we need?
Well, yeah, I'm curious. So I guess it either preserving original file. Okay.
So are you know what you're looking for, I would assume. I mean, tell me.
I mean, honestly, like we didn't specify. Should we just overwrite the data, right? Or should we actually like physically remove the first, chop the file, right?
It also gave a second approach right here. It gave second approach.
Preserving the original file. It's quite interesting. I don't know. I guess that's kind of a more relevant application, right? It just kind of summarizes the different approaches that you see.
This is the summary feature, and this is the summarized code. So, but no, I think this is a useful. Oh, and by the way, this is what I was doing before. You can clear chat, and then you there?
Oh yeah, no, I'm here.
But no, yeah, this is clearing. This is what I was doing before. So you can kind of clear each chat. And then, again, pull up different ones if you want to see, what Perplexity would be doing, or let's see, instead of Gemini, let's do Cohere, Command R plus. Let's see, I mean, again, and okay, let's move this to V3. Let's see what O1 would do. I mean, so anyway, you can only do 6 in at once. You can also do 4 at once. So
only 6. Oh my god.
You can. Anyway.
I need to read 12. I think that would do it for me. No, I'm kidding.
So yeah, I kind of like this tool again for comparing side by side or 6 at once or 4 at once. I think it's a really useful tool to do so. And it is interesting you bring up man in the middle because they have to be doing something. Because they know everything you're typing to all the APIs that are going out and retrieving that data because Chat Playground or Cogsy or whatever they have, or T3 Chat, they all have your information. Now, it would be worth looking into the privacy policy, which is another thing that I don't think. I haven't really done this. I know we do talk about privacy a lot on this podcast, but I don't think that has been a priority for me looking at Chat Playground or, T3 Chat. I don't have a T3 Chat account, but it would be interesting to see, maybe they save the data for 24 hours and delete it. I mean, maybe they have a no data save policy. I mean, because that is a good question.
Well, I mean, I think we can read their privacy policy right now.
If you want to try to pull it up, maybe even ask AI. Maybe paste it into an AI tool and say, "Hey, please."
I don't know. I don't we're at that limit. I don't know, but
get AI to summarize.
Anyway. Information we collect, right? So we collect queries, messages, and other user content.
What are you reading?
The T3 Chat privacy policy.
Okay.
Sam,
I have a quick thought. I do have a quick thought before we discover something potentially. I think it's kind of like the gym membership model. Personally, provide AI at a reasonable cost that people just aren't going to cancel because it's nice to have access, and just hope that the majority of users don't take advantage of the full limits, because if you do use the full limits, you're probably surpassing, the $8 cost. You're probably going to 20, 30, 40. I mean, and I do think the founder has a YouTube channel, and you can see they actually did talk about that before the pricing changed, or the limits changed.
I guess so. Yeah, it could be one of those things where it's just sort of like, yeah, I won't cancel it. It's $8 a month. I mean,
it's kind of what it seems like it's trying to do.
Maybe,
it's $8
right?
a month, and think about it. ChatGPT Plus would be 20, and Claude, that's another 20,
It's also
and then
20. I mean,
Gemini's another 20.
X.ai is like
Claude,
50 now. I mean, whatever,
So, yeah, I mean, I think to some extent, like this, there is I really do think to some extent there is a good thing going for all these. I really do think there might be a good thing going for all of these aggregation tools that put it in one interface. But, it does leave a little, kind of to wonder, like, what's exactly happening behind the scenes. Did you find anything on the policy?
on
Is it a
T3
long?
chat.
Yeah. Do they
I
say
mean,
that
they collect your data. I mean, they collect your queries, your messages, and other content. And how do we use this content? We provide and improve the service. We personalize your experience. We analyze your usage patterns, diagnose technical issues, and improve the overall performance and security. And they comply with the law. So I guess if you're in the EU, let's see. So we retain your personal information for as long as it is necessary to fulfill the purposes for which it was collected, or as required by law. So forever.
That's
okay. I mean, that's what that means. Okay. And I think they kind of put some window dressing on it. They say, when we no longer need your personal information, we will take reasonable steps to securely delete or de-identify. So they don't even guarantee they're going to delete anything, or it's just it's all wishy-washy. I mean, so that's why read and try and understand. Basically, all you need to read is the first sentence. We retain your personal information for as long as it is necessary. Says who?
So this makes me wonder. I mean, I don't think we should go over every tool right now, but this does make me wonder how Cogsy,
Oh, so yeah, I mean,
policy.
and perhaps this is a good good thing for Cogsy, right? So Cogsy claims to be
they do claim to be
more
very
or less personal, right? So essentially, let's see. Let's see. So wherever possible, we will choose not to require or save any user data. For Cogsy, user data is only a liability. We do not need or want it. Still, we operate a paid service, which may require some basic information from our customers. And we have a document that describes how we use it to the best of our ability. And so they have a relatively detailed version of, like, hey, so here are all the cookies and client data that we collect. And it's essentially cookies.
Mm-hmm.
It shows you the location, the name, what it contains, why they create it. It shows the logs that they keep on their servers, how long they retain them, and why they do.
This is Cogsy.
So yeah, it's a world of difference.
Yeah, that is interesting.
It really is. I mean, it's a very different. And they even have a warranty canary, which is pretty funny. So they update a number of national security letters, gag orders, or warrants from any government organization they've received. So far, none.
Wow.
I mean, and that's always the kind of classic, and that's, I don't know if you saw the news about this, but it's kind of something that's been going on in the UK, essentially, more or less some proposed regulation. I'll have to dig into it a bit more. But essentially, I think directing Apple to place some sort of encryption backdoor in how they protect device data. And Apple, as far as maliciously complying with this request, is essentially going to go ahead and remove all encryption. Which is again complying with the letter but not the spirit of what and it's interesting. I mean, I don't know if you remember that whole high profile FBI thing where it's like the FBI asked Apple, it's like, you can crack this phone, and Apple was like, no, and then the FBI cracked it anyway.
Yeah.
So it's just a big old like, I mean, it's just like, dude, like, I don't know what kind of
we're going to do what we want to do.
It's just sort of like, hey, like, we'll give you the back door, but you just have to pretend to like ask us, and then we'll make a big fugazi about like, I mean, who really knows what happened, but all I'm going to say is that played very well for the marketing of, iPhone is private. Like, they didn't even, let the FBI in, man. And it's like, who knows? I mean, honestly, like, who's to say they just didn't give it to him after the fact? I mean, the thing is, no one really knows and no one really cares to verify. I mean, I don't blame them. It's not easy. I don't even know how the heck you would even begin to verify that. So it's just kind of like, and security's tough. Because it's a lot of it's a lot of it's a lot of trust in a way, because at the end, right, it's sort of like, you have to trust the device that you're using at a certain point, because if you're really going to verify the security of anything, it's you have to take it down to literally the hardware level and examine and audit each specific component and process and software that it uses. And ain't nobody got time for that. Is kind of even a security minded person, like, I don't know if the Mac I'm using as a backdoor, and it's just like, honestly, dude, like, I can't spend a PhD thesis worth of time disassembling the computer and like tracing every last trace and looking at the chip schematics and like how it's just like, I'm not gonna do that. Okay, it's just sort of like,
I know we do trust our technology, because there's always potential. You have to, I think in this day and age, you have to always assume that somebody could access your device at all times, or figure out how to get your information from you, right? We just have to kind of assume nothing is safe online. There's always a digital footprint.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're basically leaving little crumbs, kind of, whenever you browse the internet. But I don't know. It just kind of, it goes full circle back to just kind of like the whole privacy versus convenience, or security versus convenience. I mean, it really is a trade-off, and it's like, and I think a lot of what security researchers kind of fail to realize is, like, using a lot of this technology it's a burden. Okay, it's just sort of like, back, all these, each additional compliance requirement is just a mental burden for the user. And it's like, no wonder people don't, we need to make things more secure and easier to use, so that's why, biometrics, are so appealing, at least to me personally, because it's something you don't have to try to remember something to authenticate. You just are you. And as long as your eyes are open, or you still have your finger, you can unlock your computer.
Yeah, but this isn't really mainstream yet. I think even the little security keys, it's amazing to me how, to be honest, how few banks have even adopted this. Like, it's really, yeah.
No, it's like, yeah, I've a better security key than what most it's
your
like
bank won't even support that. But theoretically, if people just get, I mean, I have one of those.
YubiKey.
Yeah.
That's NFC that you can use with
Goes
your
into
phone.
your phone, and it NFC and USB-C. But yeah, I think a lot, again, we're kind of at the mercy of what's actually going to support that. And then I hate to say it, but if you lose that and you don't have your recovery key, good luck. So
Well, and that is one thing I am a little bit scared about, right? Is I have a spare, in case I need it. But I hope that it never comes to it, or that I lose one.
Where is mine? Oh no. I'm just kidding. I think I know where mine is. But no, I mean, if you misplace it temporarily for a long time, you could be at a loss if you need that, right?
Well, I mean, it is a little bit annoying too, because it's like, well, if I don't have it, and like I have my phone, for example, and I need to autofill something, and I don't have my security key. It's like sometimes I don't have it. I don't carry it around in my pocket all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
So, it does kind of become like, it is a burden, but
But it's for security, and I mean, I guess it's good that it's not always with you, because.
Well, yeah, I mean, else, if you just kept it on your person all the time, so that's why I kind of go back and forth of just like, like, is Face ID enough? Like, why do I have to have a hardware key on my phone? And like, Face ID is probably good enough,
Yeah.
Like, it's ultimately like, it is hard to fool, and quite, security is a balance of like, I mean, really, like, what do you have to take? And that's kind of I don't know, kind of a crappy way to look at it, but like, how valuable are you, and is going to be proportional to how hard people work to exploit you. Like,
yeah, because if someone really wanted to hack,
more,
theoretically they could come and steal your security key when you're not looking. That is an option.
Yeah.
If someone wanted to try that hard.
If you're broke, you don't have this problem. So, like, yeah, I don't have a crypto wallet or any, anything with, a ton of money attached to it. So it's like, that does help me. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not an easy target, or I make myself an easy target, But at the same time, I don't have to worry as much,
Yeah. Well, speaking of security, this week, $1.5 billion of crypto was stolen.
Oh, yeah, I heard about this.
North Korea. Yeah, so North Korean hackers.
They're at it again.
They're at it. Yep. They are.
This was from an exchange, right?
Yep. Bybit. Something.
So it's Bybit. Yeah. And it's Lazarus. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Yeah. So Lazarus, the North Korean nation state persistent threat operator, seems to have stolen again.
It's crazy.
This is just.
It's
just
crazy.
nuts, man.
Really,
I mean, it's just like, dude, like, is this the future of finance right here?
Well, no. Well, keep in mind. So, one of the exploits that I was looking into, it seems like they target on LinkedIn they were posing as hiring managers for a company, and obviously competitive, and it looked legit. And so basically, people are fooled into the people that work for companies that manage, but basically the developers that have access to the company's crypto wallet of somehow, right? They are exploited, and what happens is somehow they are targeted because they know that these developers or these, employees.
That's the security component. It's just sort of like,
Yeah. So, I mean, look, it would be like a software engineer at Apple. Let's pretend Apple has $1 billion of crypto, right? Let's just pretend, right? And so they go out to people at Apple, trying to recruit them to a new job, and they know that they have access to Apple's crypto, and which again, that's probably not the safest thing, but I guess someone has to have access, right? Or some team or someone has to know how to get access, right? So apparently they were targeting employees of companies that had access to crypto. And yeah, I mean, that's simply that, which is crazy. So
well, and then
yeah.
I guess this is another kind of wrinkle in the fabric. More or less, the owners claim that they are, quote, one-to-one solvent. Some people are saying this is just kind of a ploy so they don't go bankrupt off of this stuff.
Well, that's not good also if they really stole that much. That's terrible,
Well, and that's
like,
yeah. I mean,
think about
well,
that
the thing is,
logically
like,
for a
there's really
second.
no audit for this kind of stuff too. Like, yeah, nobody's auditing a crypto exchange.
The other thing that blows me away too, I hate to say this, but they clearly have access to keys, the private keys. Think about it. They have access to private keys that are saved on the computer or saved in a document. I mean, again, I think it kind of comes down to, I don't think this would be I don't know all the details, but I personally don't think this would be as big of a deal if they used how do I say this? If they used hardware wallets to secure the keys. Okay. Like, look, if you have a screenshot on your phone, okay, of the security keys for your Bitcoin wallet that has a lot of money in it, and your phone is targeted because whatever thing you're clicking on or doing or interview for or whatever, right? If they connect with you, you have that and somehow they can access your screenshots, your camera roll, right? That's not good. And look,
Yeah, a little bit, right?
I hate to say this, but if you think about it, I don't like when apps request camera roll access because, and I'm not saying I've got crypto keys worth a lot or something, screenshots, but I'm just saying you should have that written down.
You're very right. That's a good point because they have
it kind of goes back.
to it.
They have access to it, and look, and so clearly it was in some insecure location, some location that was not, safeguarded from someone that could potentially. Now, were they expecting a hack? No, but I think it just goes to show you that the security keys were not in a safe location. And look, sometimes you don't even know security keys. I think this is Tangem. The Tangem wallet is a really secure wallet, but you don't even know the security key because that operates in a really interesting way. So
it's so secure you don't even know.
Are you familiar with it? No. Are you secure? No, it's so secure because you don't. It never exposes your private key. So how it works on to simply put, you can think about it like if you have the physical card and the backup or the two backups or whatever, if you have that physical card and the passcode or the one little pin code, which is a lot easier to get, right, and remember, then you can access the entire wallet. But because the security key is securely built into the card, and it's never exposed to you, the user, to any application that interacts with it. Now, and to authenticate a transaction, you have to tap the card to the phone that's making the transfer. So you have to know, oh, I want to transfer this. Yes, tap the card. I mean, it's like, and it's a physical thing. Nobody over the internet can hack it. I mean, no one can even hack a physical card if they don't know the PIN code. So there's no point. And the card doesn't store the money. The card stores the key, which is why the passphrase, which is why there's a backup key stored somewhere that you know where it is. So it's fine if you destroy the primary, you've got a backup key. So it's actually a really good idea how they do it. And it's an NFC card, key card, and it's a really well designed hardware wallet for blockchains, and it supports a lot of the major blockchains. So it's not like it's not like it's crazy, So, and they have a ring too that you can wear, so you can tap, and you don't have to charge the ring. It's an NFC chip, so good for a long time, built in. So it's a really, really, really well designed hardware wallet for securely storing crypto. And I guarantee you, there's ledgers, there's Trezor wallets. There's Tangem's not the only one. I think it's the easiest, and I think it's the best designed one. But I don't think North Korean hackers would have been able to steal that much if there were physical wallets. I mean, they would have had to have a gun to someone's head saying, "Tap the key card. We know you have it right there. We know you know the PIN code. Do it." Like, there's no way for them to access the secure phrases, with a card like that, or with a hardware wallet like Ledger.
Look, when I see something that's quote unquote unhackable, I always gets my spidey senses tingling a little bit.
Because you would have to have
I don't know. It's kind of interesting.
You would have to have access to the physical key card, and you would have to know how to hack the encryption, and then you would still need the PIN code. So, like, if you can truly hack to expose the secure phrase,
so it's okay. There was a bug actually with the Tangem app, where, anyway, long story short, the log files generated by the app contained the entire private key in plain text, but they have fixed the bug, and we thank you for your understanding and providing valuable feedback. Anyway,
that's a pretty major mistake, actually.
It's literally just they logged secrets in the logs, which is like basically just, again, it's just sort of like, and it's I don't know. So I guess.
So how would somebody be able to access the logs before the bug was fixed? A hacker would still have had to get the logs from the app. How would that have even happened? What, you would have had to become like a developer hacking the physical phone, getting the logs from that? I mean, how would someone have even hacked that? They would have to get the logs.
I mean, they introduced a new feature, it seems like. So with the NFC, as you were saying, they enabled, I guess to their saying, they enabled an advanced logging method that introduced the bug that quote unquote affected a small group of users who activated their wallet with the seed phrase and then contacted support. The bug has been fixed and the users will be notified. And it's just sort of like the next comment is, so this means there's no testing process in your software development chain. Quite a big bug, I would say. Your whole QA department is on vacation. Shouldn't the keys be the main thing you should look for when producing code? And I hate to agree with this this Reddit guy, but it's just
That's true.
They basically just ripped. I mean, your seed phrase is basically just in plain text. Anyway, so that's what I'm saying.
That's never supposed to
nothing is ever the human component is like. Now, has anyone been actively exploited? Maybe not. But I mean, this was about 2 months ago. So have they fixed it? It looks like they have.
But before this, I remember I didn't really hear anything. I was doing some research into it, and it didn't seem like they had any glaring issues. And they've been audited by third-party security company, and it really did seem like they knew what they were doing. So yeah.
I mean, I'll show you the Reddit comment, but
that's fascinating. I'm not familiar with that.
This happened, I guess, 2 months ago.
That isn't good.
It's. I think it's just. I don't know. I guess they were quiet for a little while because they wanted to kind of. I don't know if they wanted to downplay it or what's going on, but and also like announcing it in a Reddit comment is not really the proper way to do corporate communication.
Yeah.
Hate to say it. But not my company, so they can run it however they want. If I leaked, something.
But here's the thing. Look, not to support this. I mean, that's not a good bug, but I do have to say, if a hacker was trying to get your logs from the Tangem wallet app during that glitch, wouldn't that have been a little suspicious? Like, how would a hacker have even obtained that? Like, that's what I don't get. Sorry.
It's easy, right? Like, your Tangem card could not be verified. Hi, I'm from Tangem support. Please send me your log file so we can diagnose the issue before you lose all your.
Do people really fall for that? Do people really? How many people? I'm sorry.
Well, they're buying crypto, so it's sort of like. I don't know.
How many people fall for that?
Well, imagine if you had $1 million on there and that's all you have. Like, you would really like.
But come on, it's crypto. You should know that nobody's.
You should know better.
I'm sorry. You should know.
Well, that's why adoption is a little bit difficult, right? Because it's like,
crypto wallets don't have support. You don't need support. Okay.
I don't know. Like,
I'm sorry.
I don't. You
are your bank. You are the bank.
I don't have support. Like, I don't know. Like, I just want to.
When you are a blockchain user, there is no support. There is no look, like it or not, there's no support. When you know your private key, that's it. Keep that safe. That's the support that you need. You don't need support. You don't need people reaching out to you. You should always be skeptical of that. And actually, before we go, it's worth noting.
To be fair, right? It is you should be suspicious in general.
Actually, it's worth noting when other users, there was a scammer on some of our YouTube shorts that were posting their phrases of wallets that
that was quite strange. Yeah, so we had a YouTube shorts commenter who was like, I think I have some Ethereum, and then just like lists like essentially
and
all
they
the
list their wallet. And here's the thing: if you interact with the wallet, you know, look,
it probably installs
at
malware
your own
or
risk,
something.
it either. I don't think so. No. I don't think so. I don't think of importing a wallet's going to install malware. But hey, it might. But if you think about it, if you interact with the wallet, right? Um, they're going to want you to, to do something, right? And so I think in the comment it said like, help me transfer the money or something like that. How do I transfer to another exchange? And so, and they're providing their key, which basically means you have access to things. I think what happens is they play off of an ignorant person posting their for help on the internet, thinking someone's going to help them, but really it looks like money is sitting there for you to take from them. And then what happens on the blockchain that they were using is what is that blockchain? I forget. Anyway, it's a blockchain
They were
that
using
uses
unicorn blockchain, or yeah.
no, it's a blockchain that uses a different. Anyway, long story short, when you anybody that sees that comment, imports the wallet, tries to help them / take the money that's right there, it really, it's a scam, because they're just going to take the money that you put in there to take the money. So it's basically, if you're in, if
So
you're thinking of,
it's like one of those it's like one of those check scams where it's like, oh, I'm gonna send you a check for like $200 and it's only 120. Just give me back the 60.
no. This is a scam where it's basically, it's a wallet. They give you access to the wallet. It's
80.
got money in the wallet, but to transfer the money out, you have to transfer money in. But they're really just going to take the money that you transfer in.
And this is a crypto
That's how.
scam?
This is a crypto scam where these people pose on the internet as help me, here's my wallet. And then, oh, if you decide to peek into the wallet, what really happens is it probably has money in there. And I forget what blockchain it was, but that blockchain is known for this type of exploitation. And so
So how would you know that as a user?
What
You
do you
know?
mean? That
Or like how would I know that, you know?
Because it's pretty obvious if you're posting money. Look, people know not to share their private access to get into the wallet. Come on. Like,
I mean,
if it
yeah,
was,
that's fair, right?
I mean,
I mean,
really. And so you know that it's a scam, it's a bot comment, that they want people to see it. They want as many people to see it so that some people will actually look into the wallet. And then some people that don't know any better might try to transfer money in to the wallet. That way they can transfer the money out of the wallet. However, you know that it's a scheme for them to just steal all the money people are transferring in. So there's people that try to take the money out because thousands of people have seen the post. So whoever sees the post and says, oh my God, the money's still in there, I got to do this now. And then if you think about it, that's how they do it. And they comment this on as many videos as possible so that as many people can see it, import the wallet, transfer money in, and that's the money that they get. And so they probably get a lot of money from people trying to take the money. It's kind of funny. So that's the scam. And
Yeah, I mean,
but again,
it's just wild to me how it's like you just have the same exact scams, you know?
it's like, but also, yeah, anyway.
You know, it's
So
just kind of like, what?
don't interact with any links that need permissions to your wallet. That should be obvious, but you never want to click on links to things that connect to your wallet that are not safe. And again, double check that it is that thing. If you're connecting your wallet to something, make sure it's actually that application that's safe. Look at the domain, look at what it's connected to, and honestly, just stop connecting your wallet to things. And if you do connect your wallet to something, make a new wallet just for that tool. I'll tell you, you want a new wallet for every tool. And again, it kind of goes back to email addresses, being bought and sold, right? If you use the same wallet address for every service, think about that for a second. Now someone can track all the things you interact with, and they can kind of know, oh, wow, we can hack this wallet. It's got worth, or we know it gets money. But if you use a new wallet for every for every crypto thing that you might be doing, that is a way to stay safe. That way you're not using the same wallet and connecting it to log in to different services. So anyway, well, have a great rest of the night. Thanks. I think that's about it for this.
Well, yeah, we really ran the hour out. Wrapping things up. We'll be here next week, same time, same day, Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. It was great talking to you all tonight. And
stay safe.
Hopefully we won't have another crypto scam to talk about next week.
Yeah, North Korea needs to...
we need more bots to comment on our videos. That was the most interesting conversation I've had off of a bot comment. So
it's crazy. And
I'll give
on our
credit.
videos,
I'll give them credit.
Are getting more views. So hey, that's our first step, like you said, in growing our audience on YouTube. So these fake comments, these fake scam bots. So we're back every Tuesday.
Stay real.
Sign up for our newsletter on our website, techtalklive.xyz. Stay updated. We're back every week, wherever you get your podcasts. Signing off until then.
Peace.